Anti-Afro Spengalis, I have to address an issue. I want to talk about the concept of being relegated to disrespect. Smoke, you know I'm going to be talking about you. Has to be said, Smoke, because you are just like that scene in the airplane movie. You remember back in the day where we used to be able to wait for family and friends at the gate, right where the airplane landed and people disembarked. We can't do that anymore. But there was a scene in that movie where they're trying to land this plane. And they said, okay, the plane's coming in at gate number 8. By the time he landed that plane, they were at gate 25 or 26.
Flight 209 now arriving gate 8, gate 9, gate 10, gate 23, 24, 25.
Smoke, I am not going to be chasing you from gate to gate to gate. Smoke has to try and bring in any new scenario, any new situation, pull it from wherever and attach it to AFW friends and supporters. What does that have to do with being relegated to disrespect? That has to do with everything Smoke does to curry favor to those who treat him like shit over and over and over again. They attack his family, his wife, his kid, and what does Smoke do? He goes running right back. And when he runs right back, he makes sure he quickly does what to gain favor? Talk shit about AFW, Rev G, me, AAS. Even if he has to make it up, that's how he earns his temporary spot for the cycle to continue, to evolve. They want Smoke up on a panel to answer a question. Smoke goes and catches a link and he calls himself going off. Then somebody sends money to kick him off. It's a setup. And he falls for it every time. Goes back to his channel complaining and whining. And then he allows those subjects who kicked him off their panel to come to his page. And what does he do? He goes back to the page. They kicked him off, gets on the platform, and the shit starts all over. You are allowing yourself to be used and reused over and over again. You're essentially a demon panel urchin. They know they're going to get their $10 to $20 by kicking you off the panel, and you're guaranteed to return. And they're going to get their other $10 to $20 to kick you off the panel. So if you're satisfied with being a demon panel urchin, that's what you're satisfied with. But in order to continue to be tolerated in that space, he's got to mention us. He's got to connect us to situations that have nothing to do with us. So this is why you are hearing Smoke's claims about AFW, me and Rev G becoming more and more bizarre, because he has to keep his spot. He's got to earn his spot. And this is such hypocrisy because he runs around talking about how independent he is. You're not independent. You're not independent if you have to continue to run back to those who have dogged out your wife and your child, and you're calling them the prize and praising them on your page. You are accepting relegation to disrespect. Somebody decides in their mind, and this is typically how it is, if someone knows who you are or knows you, and they're going to be interacting with you, they've already decided how they see you. It's no surprise, Smoke. They don't respect you. You try your hardest to be forced into the mix. You try your hardest to get acceptance in spaces where you're not respected. It was low down and dirty what you did to Kip. Kip was over on your page, boosting your page, grabbing your links, having all those discussions with you. As soon as he is stabbed in the back by an ingrate goblin, you're over on those pages doing what? Joining right in with them, dogging them out. It sticks out like a sore thumb. Nobody needs to sit in a freaking chat for how many hours. This information comes over as confirmation that you are dependent on those demons. It wouldn't even matter but for the fact You keep throwing our name in the mix. If you're just dependent on demons, you're dependent on demons. But you are dragging us along with our names in your mouth. It is beyond you just being dependent on demons. Be dependent on demons all on your own. Be dependent on demons without mentioning us. You can't do it because that's how you're earning your spot. No wonder Kip didn't come to your page and give you an interview. He was on your page and someone else in another sector snags him for an interview. He connects with someone else outside the Umar Johnson sector, and I'm glad he did that. You all don't deserve the interview. Sitting over there talking about this man, Smoke, and he was on your page. You are not independent. You are totally dependent on those demons. That's where you hang out all the time. You're there. And you do just what they want you to do to be able to stay in their temporary favor until it's time for you to put on the act as a demon panel urchin, where they can kick you off for $10 to $20 and you go running and crying back to your page, but you let them on your page, and you go back to their page, and it starts all over again, like I just said. And you're sitting here passing judgment on everybody else like you're some highfalutin moral example of loyalty. You're not. You absolutely are not. That was a low down and dirty move. But you don't give a damn. You don't care. You just want to be accepted by the disgusting, vile, landfill mindset freaks. They're evil. And you love being in their mix. You love worshiping them. And you don't mind if it treats you like a demon panel urchin for $10 to $20 a pop. And you think you have the nerve to sit here and demand and expect me to give a damn about some stupid ass emails that have no relevance. Zero relevance. I mean, have a clue. Somebody pulls up emails that are one-sided and you just go right down the path, getting your chain yanked. At the same time, the shriveled monkey raisins struck your channel and you got no smoke. We get why you have no smoke, because you have to make sure you turn the attention towards AFW, me, and Rev G. You're just accepting the position of relegation. You're trying to solidify your position even further by going to catch links. And guess who you want to talk about? You don't want to talk about who you're an expert in. M3 in grown mold, aka grown man. No, you don't want to grab a link and talk about them. You want to talk about AFW. You want to talk about Rev G. You want to talk about me. Well, I get it. ZX snatched your subject. Now he's the expert. And it didn't take him 2 years. Didn't take him 2.5 years. It didn't take him getting dogged out. He didn't like the way they spoke to him, and he dealt with it on the spot. What did you do? Smoke? You found a way to bring in AFW. They were on your page for how many years? Grown mold and fingernails on the chalkboard were on Smoke's page. How many years, folks? You know how many years. Then he runs around calling them AFW. You allow those females to jump up on panels and get in your face and talk to you any kind of way. And what does Smoke do? He wants to come back and say AFW. Instead of catching the link to ZX's panel and talking about AFW, why didn't you ask him for some support and how to build your channel? Because you need it. You certainly need lessons on how to disengage when a host has you dragged in some bullshit, gets you on a panel and allows females to scream and holler at you, and you think you're being heard and your microphone is being turned off or switched on and off, so nobody's even hearing what you're saying, Smoke. Barely. Or they'll keep you up there until the $10 to $20 demon panel urchin fee comes in and you're booted. And all you can do is run back and scream and holler about AFW. And you continue to allow yourself to be put in that position, and you want to speak as an authority figure on us? Well, listen, at least if Gerald is going to sit up on a panel and allow an out-of-control female to yell at him, at least we're recording it for evidence. What do you get? out of it? Nothing. You're just devaluing yourself. They're making a fool out of you. We decided they're not going to do that to us. They disrespect us on their platforms. We're out of there. Why the hell are we going to sit up on a platform where a host is all in cahoots with people attacking us? We're gone. And guess what happens? They're chasing us around. They're grabbing links with our names in their mouths. Well, at least when Rev G is on a panel and then one of these out of control, loudmouth females comes up there and starts screaming at him, it's always a public servant, a rogue public servant, and the evidence is captured. So there's a purpose to that, to sit there and just let NPW go on for 30, 45 minutes with all of these protected class attacks. It's not a body bag. NPW is body bagging herself. You don't even get that out of it. And you think you can take all of that anger and direct it towards me? No, you can't. Towards Rev G? Nope. Towards AFW? No. We're the ones with the name clearing outcomes. You can go up on any panel you want to and spread any lie. Our names are cleared in a court of law. Your court of law is YouTube. Ours was a federal court or any other ruling body who has the authority to make a binding decision that can be enforced. What's enforced in these YouTube streets? Well, what's reinforced is you're making a fool out of yourself. By and large, we ignore most of the garbage that you spew about AFW. You really thought you're going to be able to just go anywhere you want and say what you want and you will get absolutely no response? Well, go ahead. Carry on, Smoke. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep making situations ripe for you to be made a fool out of. Certainly you'll oblige. We don't oblige. We get the hell up out of there. We see a host is onto that bullshit, allowing us to be attacked, we're gone. It's a very easy decision. And then who's chasing after who? Who's running after who? Who is putting our names in their mouths? It's these demons in the Umar Johnson sector. So desperate to try to take attention away from their bullshit and divert it to AFW, Rev G, and me. And it blows up in your faces every freaking time. And it will continue to blow up in your faces because we're not going to engage in that bullshit. You can get mad for anything you want. You can scream and holler about these dud-ass emails. I don't give a crap. 3 to 4-year-old emails, I don't care if the email was yesterday. It doesn't matter. You can go and spread your lies. Mona was AFW. Yes, she was. And we have the evidence that Mona was told over and over again, we don't get down like that. We don't commit crimes. We don't need to commit any crimes. And we should continue to push that. Look what happened. It blew up in her face. She committed the crime along with these other Social Security co-conspirator felony fraud offenders. Unindicted for the time being, but every single one of you has what's coming to you. You're not going to get us caught up in that bullshit. We don't participate in any illegal activity. We don't need to do that. We don't need to do that, and we've never done that. You can sit up there and say whatever the hell you want. Nothing that you say is backed up by court documents. The judge made the ruling in our favor. What judgment do you have in your favor? The only judgment that you have is default. You're going to owe Catherine Brown at least $75,000 because you didn't even take the time to respond to the lawsuit. You think it's more important to come on YouTube and talk shit about AFW. Well, we know it's more important to defend ourselves in court, and we would do the same thing over again. We knew what was important, the name clearing outcome. We knew we were going to get a name clearing outcome. Where's your name clearing outcome? In the YouTube streets? On demon panels and demon chats? Where you jump up and grab the link and they cut your mic off? That's your justice? Our justice is a court of law if it needs to go there. Other than that, we don't even have to give it attention. You're the one that continues to bring us up. In the meantime, you're not even handling business, Smoke. You're not even handling business on YouTube. You're not handling business in the court. And you got the default judgment along with these 2 other fools whose names aren't even worth mentioning. I'll speak up when I want to speak up. If I don't want to speak up, I won't. That's my choice. You cannot force me to produce anything. Produce what for you so you can create another planet to go run off with these wild theories, these cockamamie schemes. I'm not even going to reference the crap that you're saying. What I'm saying here is what you repeated before. You're coming up with even more bizarre bullshit, and you can just come up with the bizarre bullshit. You're on your own, Smoke. We're not getting involved. You can go over there to those demon platforms where they don't respect you and continue to get kicked off. It's not AFW's fault. We're not taking responsibility for it. Neither is Rev G, and I'm certainly not. Listen, folks, I always have more to bring to you. Trust and believe that. In the meantime, buyer beware.